Welcome to my channel. My name's Bissy and Louis and Lestat are their mother's sons. Now this is going to be somewhat of a part 2 to my previous video, as Louis and Lestat are both intriguing and complex characters who are profoundly influenced by the actions and the inactions of their mothers. Both are shaped by and in some ways driven by their respective mothers and the treatment they receive from them as children and as men. I'd like to examine the relationships between Louis, Lestat and their mothers, and the factors that drive their personality traits till this day. You can skip to Louis and Florence or Lestat and Gabriella at these timestamps. I'll be focusing on the show for Louis and a mixture of the show and the novel for Lestat, as we just don't have enough of show Gabriella just yet. If you enjoy this type of video and would like to see more, please let me know by hitting like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to keep making them. If you'd like to support me and what I'm doing with the channel, you can also join my Clean Club. You get access to weekly videos early and lots of other fun perks. I'd like to give a very special shout out to Mangler for joining my Bissy Clean Club. Thank you so much. So with that said, let's get into the video. We meet Florence in 1910. She is a widow in New Orleans and the matriarch of the Dupont-de-Lat family. She loves her children, but is certainly not sure of her airs and graces. Now this can of course be attributed to the time and their current social standing. Florence is aware of Louis's profession, but she chooses to ignore the true source of their wealth in favour of blissful ignorance. Louis demonstrates this same ability to compartmentalise even as a human. Louis also never stops wanting to please his mother, or even earn her love or favour while she's alive. There are so many ways that Louis adopts his mother's teachings, and I've broken them down here. Number 4. Before Louis loses his temper and kicks in the front door of their home in New Orleans, Florence comes uncomfortably close to him, grabs his face and says, "There he is. There he is."
There he is. There he is.
Her jaw is locked. She's looking him right in the eye, almost antagonizing him, like he isn't her son. He's something else. Like she wants to draw whatever darkness that's inside of him out. Louis, an inhumanly powerful vampire, is muzzled, or should I say immobilized in this moment, by his mother. His power is nothing compared to hers over him in that moment. She has and will always hold power over him. Decades after Florence's death, Louis says these same words to his companion Armand, in nearly the exact same way, in Season 2, Episode 5, during their fight in San Francisco.
Oh, there it is. Half blank, half apocalyptic look.
Did Louis learn this particular type of antagonism from his mother? Did Louis learn to push until he gets that reaction from her? Was his relationship with Lestat so satisfying because Lestat usually did bite and would push back, whereas Armand didn't, hence beige pillow? Let me know what you think. Number 3. Louis's mother is cold and distant to Louis following Paul's passing. She's accusatory and isn't shy about it.
You must have said something to him, Louis. You must have said something to him to make him do that to himself. You always had to have the last word, didn't you, Louis? You always had to take him down a peg. Momo, what did you say to him? Why was you even up there? Paul's in hell because of you.
Louis seemed to inherit his mother's cruel streak. There are numerous examples of Louis being cruel to his partners when he is the one who is hurting. But right now, I'd like to highlight the particularly callous behaviour Louis displays with Daniel. He reaches into his mind and recalls one of the most painful moments in Daniel's life. He does this and laughs.
Worked so hard to get that table right in the corner so you could pull out the ring just at the right moment to surprise her.
Which I did.
If she thinks of you now, we can do that.
Or we could simply return to the interview, which is your job.
Yes. Good.
Louis was upset with Daniel and struck out at him, very similarly to the way his mother would strike out at him constantly after Paul's passing. Even after over a century, is this the most entrenched coping mechanism Louis knows? The behaviour he learnt from being on the receiving end of his mother's pained outbursts? Number 2. Louis has complex and conflicting feelings for his partners. I believe Florence felt the same way for Louis. She was disapproving of his lifestyle, whilst at the same time she admonishes him for not visiting regularly, sending mixed and confusing messages to Louis, who is trying to balance his new life as a gay man with a partner, adjusting to this new immortal life, and being symbolically and financially the head of the DuPont de Lac family.
Seeing my invitation got lost in the mail.
You want to come around, you come around when people are awake. 6 months and you just show up. You're not welcome in this home.
I own this home.
Louis had incredibly complex emotions for Lestat, especially towards the end of their 30-year relationship. Louis plots to take Lestat out with Claudia, but on the intended night, he loses himself in Lestat when they dance, as he knew he would. And yet, he ultimately does follow through with their murderous plan. Number 1. Although Florence wasn't all bad, she loved her daughter Grace and seemed to be friends with her. She was kind to her and accommodating to her new husband. Although Louis didn't receive this exact treatment, did he take this parental method into his own parenting style with his daughter Claudia? He doted on her and sometimes respected her enough to speak to her on a level. Louis also advocates for Claudia to Lestat. Not all the time, but he often did. Louis's parental love for Claudia is the only thing that rivals his wounded love for Lestat. Lestat meets Louis's mother in the early part of the 20th century. It does not go well, ultimately. I wonder how Louis's meeting with Lestat's mother will go in the Vampire Lestat. I can't wait to find out. Lestat and Gabriella. When it comes to Lestat and his mother, we have a lot more information from the novel. But of course, we don't know exactly what will be adapted for the show and what will be changed. So this list will be pulled from what we've seen so far in the trailers and the relevant parts of the novel, The Vampire Lestat. Number 5. Gabriella is pretty detached as a mother, but she does love Lestat. Although she never overtly expressed it through affection, like hugs, softness, or even her time, she did, however, show her love through gift-giving. She sells her family jewels to afford to send Lestat to the monastery. She buys him his beloved chestnut horse after Lestat is ripped back from the Italian acting troupe. She buys him the puppies that grow to accompany Lestat on the famed wolf killer hunt. She sold even more of her jewellery, the last of them, to finance Lestat's move with Nikki to Paris. I believe that Lestat inherited this trait from Gabriella. He has unimaginable wealth, thanks to Magnus, and uses that wealth to show his love. And also, I think more notably, his remorse. We burnt more gifts than bodies that decade. I'm sure you did, Louis. Number 4. Gabriella stayed with Lestat after the heartbreak that was Nikki. Lestat was at his lowest then. I don't think his mental state is too dissimilar to how we're going to find him in the beginning of season 3. I believe he's hiding immense pain as rockstar Lestat. Can Gabriella sense this pain? Is she coming back to look after her boy now, just like she did in Egypt? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Number 3. Gabriella's lack of overt affection towards her son did so much to drive Lestat's need for love and affection, and it is still a huge driver for him today. I often wonder, is this why Lestat cheats? Is it why, despite finding the love of his life in Louis, he still desires Antoinette for their 25-year affair? Will there ever be a love that will ever be enough for Lestat. Let me know what you think. Number 2. Despite the lack of motherly affection towards Lestat, Gabriella wasn't shy with her... Now, bear with me, as this subject makes me really uncomfortable. She is much more overt and forthcoming with her sexual affections for Lestat. They kiss and exchange hot blood between their mingled tongues and cold lips in the novel. And I believe we may see that this physical relationship began whilst they were both still humans in the show. Lestat has a very healthy sex drive as a vampire. He loved Nicholas, but couldn't help but cheat. He loves Louis, but he couldn't help but feed his desires.
We'll be together 10,000 nights, 100,000. What we're doing is hard. The pleasures of the flesh, for me. Pleasures of the good book by the fire for you. From time to time, I like a little variety.
Was his relationship to sex rooted with his relationship with his mother? Number 1. Although Gabriella was relatively cold to Lestat as a child, her love for him was like a burning furnace compared to what he got from his father. Lestat didn't have the best parental examples, and sadly, that transferred to his own parenting style. He didn't want a child, but soon began to love his new family, even if that bliss only lasted for a few short years. Lestat lavished Claudia with gifts, as Gabriella did for him, but he never allowed his daughter to seep deep into his soul while she was alive.
Let him go. He didn't do nothing. It's me you want.
Listen to me. It was never you.
It was only after she was gone that his love for Claudia became overwhelming. Not that he didn't love her overwhelmingly before, I believe he did, and that's why what she and Louis did hurt him so much. I just mean that his love for her overwhelms him now, as he can no longer do anything with it. There will not and cannot be reconciliation for him and his daughter, or redemption for either of them. But will we see this second chance at a relationship with Lestat and his mother? How did Florence and Gabriella impact Louis and Lestat? Let me know if there's anything I've left off the list. And if you like this video, let me know by hitting like and subscribe for more like it. I've also reacted to Heated Rivalry, and I'm currently reacting to Bridgerton Season 4, so do check that out. If you would also like to support me and my channel, please do so by joining my Clean Club. You get perks like early weekly uploads, extra time with me, shoutouts, and lots more. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the comments. And until next time, thanks, bye!